That night, the village of Kinyara slept under a broken moon. The wind whispered through dry trees, and the earth felt unusually silent, as if it already knew that a terrible decision was about to be made. No one in the village imagined that by sunrise, a happy family would begin its journey toward destruction. In a small clay house at the edge of the fields lived Makuba, a hard-working farmer. His hands were rough from years of labor, but his heart was full of peace. He lived with his gentle wife Zina and their 2 children, Jabari, the eldest son, and little Asha, the youngest daughter. They were not rich, but they were united. Their meals were simple, yet shared with laughter. Their roof was weak, yet filled with love. To Makuba, this was true wealth, but Jabari saw life differently. Inside his chest burned a dangerous fire: greed. He hated being called the farmer's son. He envied the village chiefs, the traders with gold rings, and the young men who wore expensive clothes. Every day he asked himself the same question: why should I live poor when others live like kings? That evening, strange news spread across the village. A mysterious traveler whispered about an ancient golden well hidden beyond the Black Hills, a cursed place where unimaginable wealth waited for the brave. Jabari's heart started beating faster. That night he confronted his father. "Father," Jabari said with restless eyes, "we are wasting our lives. There is gold in the mountains. With it, we can become powerful." Makuba slowly lifted his tired face and replied calmly, "My son, easy wealth carries heavy destruction. Greed blinds the soul." But Jabari did not listen. While his family slept, he quietly picked up a small bag and walked into the darkness. He did not look back. He did not say goodbye. His mind was filled with only one dream: gold, power, and respect. Deep inside the forest, he met an old man with glowing eyes and a voice as cold as stone. The old man warned him, "The gold you seek demands a terrible price." Jabari laughed and answered without fear, "I am ready to pay any price." The old man slowly pointed toward the Black Hills, and at that exact moment, fate changed its direction. Jabari did not know that he was not walking toward fortune. He was walking toward the destruction of his bloodline. Jabari walked through the mountains all night. His feet were bleeding, his clothes were torn, but his hunger for gold kept him moving forward. The forest grew darker, the air heavier, yet he refused to stop. Just before dawn, he saw it. A broken stone well stood between 2 giant rocks. Strange golden light leaked from its depth, painting the ground with shadows of wealth. Jabari's heart pounded wildly. "This must be the place," he whispered. With shaking hands, he tied a rope around his waist and climbed down. The deeper he went, the warmer the air became. Suddenly his feet touched solid ground. What he saw stole his breath. Golden coins covered the floor. Ancient necklaces sparkled like captured sunlight. Jewels rested in piles as if abandoned by forgotten kings. Jabari fell to his knees. "I am rich! I am finally rich!" he cried. But before he could touch the gold, a cold voice echoed inside the well. "Gold is never free." A dark shadow slowly rose from the wall, forming the shape of a faceless figure. Its voice sounded like many voices speaking at once. "You may take this wealth," the shadow said, "but every gift demands sacrifice." Jabari swallowed hard. Fear touched his heart for a moment, but greed pushed it away. "What is the price?" he asked. The shadow answered, "Your first sacrifice is truth. You must hide this secret from your family. Lie to those who love you. Let greed grow inside you." Jabari hesitated. He remembered his mother's warm smile. He remembered his father's tired hands. But the gold shined brighter than his memories. Slowly, he nodded. The shadow faded, and the well became silent again. Jabari filled his bag with coins and climbed out. When the sun rose, he returned to the village pretending nothing had changed. At home, his mother welcomed him with relief. His sister hugged him tightly. His father asked where he had been. Jabari forced a smile and said, "I was working in the fields." That was his first lie. That same day, he secretly bought new clothes, better food, and small luxuries. He stopped helping his father on the farm. He started looking at his family with strange eyes filled with pride and hunger for more. And deep inside his chest, something dark began to grow. The golden well had not only given him wealth, it had planted the seed of destruction. Days passed, and Jabari's secret grew heavier than the gold he carried. He began visiting the golden well again and again, each time returning with more wealth. With every visit, his heart became colder. Soon, people in the village noticed the change. Jabari started wearing expensive clothes. He stopped greeting elders with respect. He refused to eat simple food with his family and demanded better meals. When his father asked questions, Jabari answered with anger instead of honesty. Makuba felt pain in his heart. One evening, Makuba sat beside his son and spoke softly. "My son, money is changing you. You no longer smile like before. What is happening?" Jabari stood up sharply. "You don't understand. You chose poverty. I chose power." Those words struck Makuba like a spear. From that day, peace left the house. Zina cried quietly at night, praying for her son's soul. Little Asha became afraid of her brother's loud voice and angry eyes. Meanwhile, Jabari's hunger grew deeper. The shadow from the well appeared again in his dreams. "You want more," it whispered, "and I want more sacrifices." The next time Jabari visited the well, the shadow demanded a new price. "To gain greater wealth," it said, "you must create division. Break the unity of your home." Jabari felt his chest tighten, but greed whispered louder than conscience. When he returned home, he began spreading lies. He told his mother that his father was hiding money. He told his father that his mother was wasting savings. Slowly, suspicion grew between the husband and wife. Arguments replaced prayers. Silence replaced laughter. Makuba stopped trusting Zina. Zina stopped trusting Makuba. And Jabari watched silently. One night during a heated argument, Makuba collapsed to the ground, holding his chest. His heart, weakened by stress and sorrow, could not carry the weight of betrayal. The family rushed him to the healer, but the damage was done. Makuba survived, but he was no longer strong. He could no longer work the fields. The family's main support was broken. Jabari stood in the corner, holding gold in his bag and guilt in his heart. But even then, he did not stop, because greed does not end when blood is spilled. It only asks for more.
Makuba lay weak on his sleeping mat. The strong farmer who once carried heavy tools on his shoulders could now barely lift his own hand. The house felt empty even when everyone was inside it. Zina spent her days caring for her husband, her eyes tired from sleepless nights and silent tears. Little Asha stopped laughing. She sat in corners, hugging her knees, watching her family fall apart. And Jabari felt powerful. With his secret wealth, he hired workers to replace his father in the fields. He began trading in the nearby markets. People started respecting him, not for his character but for his money. One evening, the shadow appeared again near the golden well. "You are growing strong," it said. "But true power requires a final proof." Jabari's heart beat faster. "What do you want now?" he asked. The shadow answered with a cold voice. "Remove the one who stands in your way. The weak father is a chain around your future." Jabari stepped back in fear. "You want me to kill my own father?" The shadow did not shout. It whispered. "Accidents happen. The river takes many lives." For the first time, Jabari cried. But when he returned home and saw his father struggling, begging for medicine, begging for help, something dark inside Jabari hardened. That night he told Makuba that he would take him to the river healer. Makuba trusted his son. They walked in silence under the moonlight. When they reached the riverbank, Jabari's hand shook violently. "Father, close your eyes and pray," Jabari said. Makuba smiled weakly and obeyed. Jabari pushed him. Makuba fell into the deep water. He screamed once, then disappeared beneath the waves. Jabari stood frozen, staring at the moving water. He had crossed the final line. When he returned home, he told his mother that the river took Makuba's life. Zina collapsed in pain. Asha screamed for her father. The house filled with death. That night, Jabari did not sleep. The sound of water and his father's final cry followed him into darkness. He was rich, but his hands were now stained with blood.
After Makuba's death, Jabari became the head of the family. With gold in his hands and power in his voice, he controlled everything. The villagers began calling him the Golden Son. They feared him. They respected his wealth. But inside his house, there was no peace. Zina became silent. She stopped speaking to Jabari. Her eyes were empty, her heart broken. Little Asha avoided her brother, sleeping beside her mother every night, afraid of being alone. Jabari tried to fill the emptiness with more wealth. He bought land. He built a bigger house. He wore rings and chains made of pure gold. Yet every night his dreams turned darker. He saw his father's face rising from the river. He heard his mother crying. He felt the cold hands of the shadow touching his chest. One night the shadow appeared again. "You have gained everything," it said. "Now give me your final offering." Jabari's body shook. "I have already given enough," he cried. The shadow replied, "You gave blood, lies, and betrayal. Now I want what you love the most." Jabari was silent. He knew the answer. The next morning, Asha disappeared. The villagers searched the forest. They searched the river. They searched the hills. They found her small bracelet near the Black Hills. Zina screamed until her voice broke. She fell to the ground, beating her chest. Jabari knew the truth. The golden well had taken his sister. That night, Jabari returned to the well, screaming in anger and pain. "You promised me power," he shouted. The shadow answered calmly. "I promised wealth. You paid with souls." The ground shook. The golden light disappeared. The well collapsed into darkness. Jabari fell to his knees. His gold turned into dust in his hands. His kingdom of greed crumbled in one night. He returned home with empty hands and a destroyed heart. Zena looked at him and whispered with tears, "You were our son. Now you are our curse." And those words hurt more than any punishment. Jabari sat alone in the ruins of his once great house. The walls were cracked, the roof broken, and silence filled every corner. The gold was gone. The power was gone. Only memories and regret remained. Zena left the village a few days after Asha disappeared. She could no longer breathe in a place that reminded her of death and betrayal. Without saying goodbye, she walked away carrying nothing but pain. Jabari tried to stop her. "Mother, don't leave me," he begged, falling to his knees. Zena looked at him with eyes empty of love. "You did not lose gold," she said softly. "You lost your soul." Those words burned deeper than fire. The villagers turned their backs on Jabari. No one spoke to him. No one offered him food. Children whispered his name like a curse. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into years. Jabari became thin and weak. He worked in other people's fields, begging for small wages, the same life he once hated. Every night, he returned to the Black Hills, standing beside the collapsed well, crying into the darkness. "Give me another chance," he whispered. But the forest remained silent. One cold evening, Jabari collapsed near the old well. His body was tired, but his heart was heavier. As the sun set, he closed his eyes for the final time. The villagers later buried him near the hills, far from his family, far from his home, and thus ended the story of the boy who wanted to become a king, but became a warning. To this day, elders in Kinyara village tell this story to their children. Greed builds castles of gold but destroys homes of love. Wealth gained without honesty brings only loneliness and death. And when the wind passes through the Black Hills, some say it still carries Jabari's last whisper, a whisper of regret,